Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, Govind English Teacher. Today, we're going to learn an important factor, an important secret, how to learn, how to acquire English fluency, how to become a great speaker in English language. For that only, many people, they're learning many things regarding English language, they're watching videos, they're learning grammar, they are learning vocabulary, even though they can't speak. Actually, language can't be learned by parts. We were taught, we will learn. Language can't be learned by learning parts like pronunciation, the vocabulary, the grammar, and all the things. Language can be acquired by real life situations and by using discourses. That means you have to involve in every way. Unless until you immerse in that language and unless until you use the language in your day-to-day work of life, if you don't sink into the language, if you don't think into the language, and language can't be learned. So for that only, here is a great personality. He's an English retired teacher, an expert, an extraordinary speaker, the writer, and now he is going to share his wonderful experience, how real-time learning can be taken place. Yes, for that only, I welcome our speaker. He is with us, and now, sir, please welcome, a hearty welcome, sir, JVL Narasimha, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Govindra, for inviting me to your channel today. Today, I would like to talk about an important issue, that is, how can non-native speakers like us can acquire the English language like the native speakers. They argue that in England and America, they have the natural atmosphere, they have the natural exposure to the language. But in a country like India, where English is not spoken as the local language or regional language, but it's spoken only as an official language. That means that is found only in the offices, colleges, universities, and schools. Once we come out of those premises, we tend to speak in our mother tongue. That's why most of us, including teachers of English, find it difficult to communicate well in English, despite their degrees, despite their experience, and despite their teaching in schools and colleges. What does it mean? That means those people have not acquired the language. They have just learned the language. They can teach about the language, but they can't use it. Well, surprisingly, most software engineers and doctors and some doctors working in corporate hospitals and some other employees can speak English much better than these so-called English lecturers and the teachers, because they are using the language naturally. They are talking to their friends, and they're talking to the other people from other states or even other countries. That's why they're getting the real atmosphere to speak in the language. But in schools and colleges, the atmosphere is very unnatural. Even the lecturer who teaches English resort to the mother tongue once he comes into the staff room. So when it is the case, we can't expect much from our students or even from our teachers. What should we do? The next question is, then how can we create the English atmosphere? In fact, there is no living English atmosphere even in cities like Hyderabad, Delhi, or Bombay. Of course, where English is spoken for commercial and official purposes, not for informal situations. So the problems will always be there. Then how should we overcome? Is it enough if you listen to the videos, and is it enough if you follow the grammar, and so on and so forth. But actually these days there are a dumping of videos from the both native speakers and the non-native speakers. Some start teaching grammar, some start teaching phonetics, but there is no guarantee that all of us give us the needed support to speak English. Then what should we do? The only thing we can do is to create the English atmosphere for ourselves. If you are students, please prepare or make a speaking English club among the students. If the teachers want to improve their communication skills, they can create a speaking English club among the teachers. They have to restrict their speaking only in English in the staff room. Otherwise, even the teachers ask the students not to speak mother tongue even when the class is not going on. We have a tendency to speak to or resort to our mother tongue once the teacher is out. Even the teacher asks most questions in Telugu. Even the English teacher asks most questions in Telugu. But of course, he explains the lesson in English. Of course, if you explain the lesson in English, your children cannot acquire it. If you make the children to use the English, he or she can start speaking English. That means you have to change his thinking process, not your explanation doesn't help any student to acquire the language. I have known many of my friends and teachers who have been teaching in the schools are not able to speak English well. Even today, it is really surprising to know that they have masterate degree in their possession, and they are already trained in teaching English, and they have been teaching English for a long time. Despite all this, when they were asked to speak on the dais, when they are asked to speak on their own, they are unable to do it naturally. Of course, they are speaking, but that is not up to the mark. So what should we do? So the only thing is language immersion. Language immersion means here we cannot say that listening leads to speaking, speaking leads to reading, and reading leads to writing. It is just happens only in the acquisition of our mother tongue, but it doesn't happen in our other tongue because we don't have that atmosphere here. So we have to immerse yourself in all these skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listen to something and try to speak something on it. Read something in and try to write something on it. It is not linear: listening, speaking, reading, writing. No, it is spiral. You should go round and round unless you have become proficient in English in all the skills, not just listening, reading, or writing. You have to improve your communication skills, that is your speech. Until then, you cannot say that you have known you know the language. You must try to speak it. You speak it well. It comes within 3 or 6 months if you really immerse yourself in English. With this, I would like to thank you. Thank you very much for watching our channel.